Let's also put the focus on how India has been hitting out at Pakistan since the Pahalgam terror attack, making them pay the price for their role in terror. Tensions between India and Pakistan are escalating and our diplomatic strike against Pakistan continues. Sources say that next step could be that India approaches terror funding watchdog FATF against Pakistan. India is planning essentially twin financial strikes on Pakistan to throttle support to the country for cross-border terror. Sources said that India is likely to actively pursue getting Pakistan back onto the FATF, which is a Financial Action Task Force Graylist. India is also, secondly, expected to raise concerns over the IMF's $7 billion aid package to Pakistan, alleging misuse of funds for terror-related activities. The deal for the 3-year aid package was finalized just last year in July 2024. If reinstated, the FATF Graylist status will increase scrutiny on Pakistan's financial dealings, which is clearly the need of the hour. Pakistan was put on the grey list of the global money laundering and terror financing watchdog in June 2018. And then in October 2022, Pakistan was removed from the list after it committed to curb terror funding. The reality, though, is far from that. Let's take this back across to Gaurav for more details. Gaurav, the strategy now for India seems to be to kind of choke Pakistan. They're already in an economic mess. So the idea is not just to put them in that FATF grey list, in which case there'd be greater scrutiny on them, but also the IMF constantly doling out financial packages to Pakistan.
India is adopting, as you very rightly pointed out, a multi-pronged strategy to ensure that Pakistan military jihad complex, its military terror network, does not have access to funds. And that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Government of India's entire approach has been not to go after entities, UN-designated banned entities like either Lashkar-e-Taiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed or even organizations like Hizbul Mujahideen. It's to go directly after Pakistan Army, because that is the fountainhead of terror, Pakistan Army and Pakistan ISI. Now, this is the effort that India will now adopt in reaching out to partners, and especially when the United States of America and India are all-weather friends, or they're supposed to be close strategic partners, then the US needs to ensure, or other democracies need to ensure, that Pakistan does not have access to funds from IMF bailouts, and a $7 billion bailout, of which $1 billion have to be given in the month of May. If India succeeds in holding that back, then it sends out a signal to Pakistan. Will Pakistan take action against the all-powerful army chief Asim Munir? Clearly, that's a tall ask. But India does expect, or the world would then expect, the civil society in Pakistan, the leadership in Pakistan, the manner in which they are now speaking out against, support to terror in the past. Now, that support to terror in the past was by Pakistan Army, by General Ziaul Haq, and people like Asim Munir are products of that same radicalized mindset who've now risen to the very top of Pakistan Army, and of course the next chief and the current, leadership in Pakistan, the military leadership. The effort is to put the entire spotlight on them, the focus on them, to ensure either they or their families and those associated with them face sanctions. The moment they do, then the incentive to support terror, as far as they are concerned, hopefully will reduce.
The need of the hour clearly is for more global accountability, for other countries, for bodies to step in, much like India does, and pull up Pakistan, hold them accountable for their terror funding. Thanks very much, Gaurav, for joining us with all of those details. In fact, Gaurav also earlier broke down all of the details of the Indus Waters Treaty. Here's a look and a breakdown of that.
Under the Indus Waters Treaty, when Pakistan was granted waters of the Western River, Indus, Chenab and Jhelum for unrestricted use, India was granted the Eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. India gives 80% of the Western River water for Pakistan. It does not even harness the remaining 20%. Now there are plans, some already there, some that are now going to be speeded up. What is the advantage that India now has? And I want to explain this to you. You're looking at those projects, you're looking at the Eastern River projects, and look at the Eastern River projects closely. The Satluj, Ravi and Beas, the 5 rivers that flow to Punjab, Satluj, Ravi, Beas, Chenab, Jhelum, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, and undivided Punjab initially. So look, Eastern rivers for India, Western rivers was for Pakistan, but Uri, Baglehar, Salal, Pakaldul, Chutak,
Nimu, Basgo, these are some of the projects, some that were held up, some that government has cleared, and some where work will go on. What's the big advantage? No inspection by Pakistani officials needed now. So Pakistan cannot stop your projects at all. It can do nothing. No restriction on flushing of rivers. For example, the Kishan Ganga reservoir. Pakistan would object to it. So if you can't flush, if you can't desilt, then you can't hold water or hold sufficient water. You can't generate enough electricity. No operational restriction on filling of reservoir. You can flush when you want, you can fill just when you want, and not just in the month of August, the peak monsoon period. No data to be shared with Pakistan.